Alright, so first I'm going to adjust the valves, because it says to adjust them. Well, I'm just going to check them first and adjust them if I have to. These are the specs right here, so I'm just going to do a quick down and dirty one. I've already got the bike apart. Maybe I'll make a video one of these days on how I strip this beast down. But so I'm already at the part where like the gas tank is off and everything. And I'm sure there's plenty other videos online of how to strip your bike down to here. Pretty much once you get it to here, you can work on pretty much everything. So let's go through the steps here. I know how to do this without the steps, but we'll just do it by the book. So remove the frame cover, seat, and fuel tank. Check. Already done. Right over there. Now remove the spark plug and valve inspection caps, intake and exhaust. Spark plug and valve inspection. Spark plug. I don't know what spark plug caps they're talking about, but these are the valve. These are the caps that cover the valves. And I also like to mention I ordered from ProCycle a new set of valve adjustment cover gaskets. It's because I've never replaced them and the bike's getting a little old, so just that little peace of mind. It's not leaking or anything. Yeah, it's bone dry, but I did just clean the engine, so. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and use this 10mm 1/4 inch ratchet. You can use a 3/8 if you want, or even some of these guys combination wrench. I may use the combination wrench if it's kind of in a tight spot. I use the ratcheting one. Here we go. So it's a 10mm. Let's go ahead and loosen it. And once you get the tank off, it's pretty easy to get access to them. Oh man, that's pretty tight. Okay. Yeah, in fact, probably don't even need the ratchet. And mine's got this sensor for that's the ground for the, I think my Trail Tech. So see, like, it doesn't quite get in there all the way, but there you go. Okay, and then once you've broken them loose, you can pretty much just undo it by hand. Hopefully it's not in there too tight. I suggest using maybe put a little anti-seize on this when you put it back. I don't know if I did before. Yeah, it looks like there's a little anti-seize on there. You can see it's like a little silver on the end. So go ahead and put that someplace safe. So this should be done when the engine is cold or maybe warm. It's really cold right now, so I'd imagine that the tolerances might be a little tight. But I think you're supposed to do it when it's cold, according to the manual. Let me look that up. So here's a note. So the valve clearance is to be checked when the engine is cold. Both intake and exhaust valves must be checked and adjusted when the piston is at top dead center. So we'll go do that when we take the caps off. So alright, here's one of them. Make sure you don't lose this. So, looks like it's in okay shape. There you go. There's your adjusters right there. And I'll tell you now, the DR650 is one of the easiest bikes to check and adjust the valves on. That's the beauty of this bike. It's simplicity and it's low maintenance. So they say you should do this every yeah, let me go over that. Let's put this down there. So this one's a little bit harder to get to. So you're supposed to adjust these every, when the bike is new, you should do it every 600 miles, and then after that's every 7,500 miles. So that's after all the, the metal's expanded and contracted a bunch of times. So alright, so now what we got to do is we got to set it at top dead center. To do that, we got to take these covers off. So you use a large Allen wrench. Hopefully this isn't stuck on there and we don't strip it, because it looks like it's almost about to be stripped. There we go. Alright, so here we go. So remove the valve timing inspection plug and magneto cover cap. So here I got a 8mm Allen socket type dealie, and then I got like a 10mm socket type dealie here. Those are the ones that fit in there, and then you just use a wrench, or you can use an Allen wrench. But this one is a real pain in the ass to take out. So I hope we don't strip it. Oh, okay. Whew, okay. So make sure when you put this back on, you don't put it back on too tight. Yeah, see, it's already kind of worn out. I probably should go buy a new one soon. You can just, at that point, you can probably just take the end off. Do it like that. So there you go. Now you get access to the crank bolt, the magneto bolt, and then this is the valve timing cover inspection port. It comes off quite easy. Like I said, it may depend on your bike, but when you put these back, don't put them back super tight, because then you're gonna have trouble taking them off later, and then you're gonna strip them, and then you'll be angry. Because I remember this one was really tight before. So those are the two caps. And then yeah, we probably should have cleaned this. There's a lot of dirt in there. I'm just gonna try and not touch it, and it helps if you have a light so you can shine it into the hole right there. Alright, so I'm going to teach you two ways to set the bike to top dead center. This other way I learned when I took this mechanics test on like how to put a distributor back in. But anyway, one way is you have to get the feeler gauges out. Let me get those. Alright, here I got two types of feeler gauges. I actually forgot that I bought a custom set of feeler gauges for valve cover adjustments. I've never actually had to adjust the valves on this bike. I think I did. I've done it like once or twice, but after that, that's like I've just been checking them and they've been fine. But like I said, I'm going to Baja for a trip, so I want to make sure this bike is squared away. So I got two kinds here. This is probably the most common feeler gauge you'll find, and it says the intake specs are 0.005 inches to 0.003 inches. So I like to choose the widest spec. So they say after a while the valves start to tighten. So so if you want to make it so you don't have to adjust them so often, make it as wide as you can. If it's close, if it's a little bit smaller than it, then it's okay. And then this one is 0.009. That's the other. It is in millimeters and inches too. And also, I got this from ProCycle. I think they were like $12, and these are like custom made ones. They have the ones that the feeler gauges that you need already, and they're small, so they're easy to get in the hard to reach spots, like in there. If they do have 0.005 for the intake. I thought I wrote intake somewhere on these. I guess it must have came off. I don't use them very often, so I almost forgot. I totally forgot I had them. But okay. Anyway, the first way to tell if your valves, your top dead center, is to set it to top dead center, and then, well, let's go do that right now. So let's go read how to do it. Looks we're gonna do it by the book. Turn a crankshaft counterclockwise with the box wrench. So counterclockwise, not clockwise. I don't think it really matters, but hey, the book says counterclockwise. Just go for it. Okay, there we go. I got my handy dandy deep 17. You probably don't need a deep. You probably just use a regular size one. But so what we're gonna do. Well, yeah, I guess it'll clear this a little better. This one has a little swivelly thing. Anyway. So what you want to do is you want to peer into here. Okay, so I got the camera at kind of a weird angle, but there you can kind of see there's the line, and then the T. So what you want to do is make sure that line bisects, it cuts in half the port, so it's right in the middle. Right now it doesn't look like it, but I kind of look down into it. You gotta make sure you look straight down into it and make sure it cuts it in half, basically. And then you see it has a T there. So that that's one of two chances that it is in top dead center. So one way to check is to simply check the valves right now. Okay, so like I said, we think we're at top dead center. We're gonna get our feeler gauge out. 0.005. Okay, this is the intake one right here. So your intake will be on the side that the carburetor is at. Your exhaust is on the exhaust side. It's pretty simple on the DR. So that's the easy one to check. So let's turn this light down a little bit. I'm gonna go check it real quick. This is 005. Just kind of get it in there between the little tappet and the valve. This is very hard with one hand. So hey, look, it goes in there, right? It's actually a little loose. So there you go. There it is, see? So you want it to go in with a slight resistance. Oh, actually I think it's still good. You want to make sure this probably doesn't move a whole lot after that. Yeah, it's not really moving at all. So I think we got it right on the money the first time. But let me show you what it's like if you don't hit top dead center the first time. So like I said, there's a half a chance that you'll hit top dead center. Let's spin it around one more time. So I know this handle is roughly near where the T mark is. And if you are not in top dead center, should be coming up. Should be coming up soon. Okay, there it is. Okay, if you're not top dead center, there it is, then your valve adjustments will be way, way off. Like, oh my god, it's way off, I have to adjust it, right? Yeah, see, so now it's so tight, it won't go in. And you're gonna be like, it's touching the valve. And you're gonna freak out. You're gonna go like, oh my god, it's way out of adjustment. And then you're gonna loosen it a whole lot and put it in the spec here. And then you'll find out, and then you'll start the bike and you'll be like, holy crap, why is my bike so loud? And you know how I know? Because I did that one time. So yeah. So right now it is not at top dead center. So we got lucky the first time. That's one way to check. If you stick the feeler gauge in there and like it's way off, like if it's super tight, then there should be a gap. If there's no gap, like if you just keep on sticking feeler gauges in there, getting smaller and smaller, and they're not just going in. So this wouldn't go in at all. Let's try it again. Yeah, that's not going in at all. So that's how you know that, hey, we're not at top dead center yet. So I will show you the second way to check. The second way to check is to get your spark plug out. Alright, so here I have a ratchet and a 5/8 5/8 socket, spark plug socket. Oh wow, that's really loose. It's not going in. Anyway, so we're going to take one of the spark plugs out. It doesn't matter which one. We're the easiest one to get to. It's also a 16 millimeter it's loose. Just screw it like. Alright, so you gotta get the spark plug out. Pretty easy without the gas tank on. And my spark plug socket did not do its job, but anyway, it's loose. Thanks a lot. Yes, looks okay. Look, the stuff that's not in the engine looks like crap. So, alright, so one way to tell you're at top dead center. So last time we weren't. So you can kind of see the piston in there. Is stick your finger in there and you can feel air rushing out. This is going to be hard. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to stick something on top of the cylinder. Oh god, we're going to run out of time. Anyway, you're going to stick something on top of the cylinder, and then if air rushes out of the cylinder, that means you're at top dead center. So the next one should be top dead center. So there you go. You heard that? We're at top dead center. Let's do that again. Okay, this is not top dead center. This is leaving top dead center. This is the side that's not top dead center. Nothing. So you don't hear any sound at all. So okay. So yeah, you can see. So yeah, I've lined it up back up again. You can see there, but I didn't hear any air rushing out. So what you want to do is you want to make sure when you now you hear air rushing out. Hear it. That means we're at top dead center. Boom! It's a quick and easy way. I mean, that's the surefire way to find out if you're at top dead center. And just to verify that, I will go stick the feeler gauge in there, and it should go in. And it does. Boom! Money! So that's how you do it. So I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm not gonna show how to adjust the thing. I think this one is fine. It doesn't. I'm almost sure I don't need adjustments on this, but to adjust it, and so you would need like a 10mm wrench, and you need a 10mm wrench and like something like this, a little adjustable wrench, unless you can find one that fits over the little tappet here. So like that, and then basically what you would do is you would loosen the locking nut, the 10mm, the locking nut, and you would use this to adjust it. Probably just use your hand if you can get your finger in there, or you can use some pliers. Yeah, and then you just kind of have to play with it. You have to adjust it until you get it to where you want it, because every time you tighten this, it might change the gap, you know. So you just gotta you just gotta have patience. You gotta have patience and keep on adjusting it to where you want it. So that's how you do it. Yeah, if it's not gonna need adjustment, I'm not gonna go ahead and do it.
I was looking in my toolbox and I was like, wait a minute, that's the thing to adjust the tapettes. So this is an actual tool made by well, I bought it from ProCycle. I don't know if they make it, but it's a little oh, I heard it was 3D printed too. It definitely looks like it's 3D printed, but it's got like a you know what this is? It's one of those square headed screws for like doing housework or something, like putting house panels in, and it's been screwed into this little 3D printed looks like a knob for like a door lock. Anyway, so with this you can adjust everything. So this one goes on the tappet, the square part, and then you use the 10mm wrench to lock it in. So these are all the tools that you need to adjust the valves. It helps to have extra, but these ones are really easy to work with. They're smaller to fit in those tight spots. So I highly recommend these. It's good to have another set so you can get that in between sizes. But I mean, hey, if it fits in there, then you're good. fits in there, and you can move it. If you can wiggle it a lot, then yeah, it's probably too loose. But yeah, you can use this to tighten it or loosen it, and then use this to lock it in. And this is available at ProCycle also, along with these two guys here. So that's I just wanted to do a little plug for them. Since I had it, I was showing you the tools that you could do it, but I didn't have to adjust it. I just checked it. So basically, the best thing that came out of this video is you learn how to put your bike in top dead center. And right. So I mean, you can use a glove. You can even stick your finger in there. It's kind of harder to stick your finger in there. Make sure the spark plug, where the spark plugs are, is clean around them. There's not much dirt. Try to clean it out as much as you can, because if you take the spark plug out, dirt can get in your cylinder. That would be bad. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and check the rest of these valves out. So to check the exhaust valves, I'll show you how to check the exhaust valves. So I want the highest spec, 0.008. That's like actually in the middle. But I don't know, maybe Suzuki may have changed the specs at some point. Alright, there you go. It's in there. Fits. It's actually a little looser than it should be. Looser is good. You don't want it tight. That's what you don't want. Remember, loud valves are happy valves. Yeah, it's actually too loose. Let's see, it's still moving. So that's definitely not 0.08. But if we get the, maybe I set it to 0.09. So here's 0.009, the exhaust side. So we can go try that out. So there it is. It does fit. I think it's a little on the too loose side. No, actually it's just right. It is kind of loose, but not really. This is the 0.09 shim. But if you can see, that the tappet, the arm doesn't move that much, as it's a 0.08, so I think it's fine. I'm not going to touch it, but I'll check the other ones just in case, but I think they should be fine. Oh, it's really hard to get that out of there with one hand, but there it is. It's in there, and it's bending a whole lot. So there you go. That's how you adjust, that's how you check your valves. So I think it's fine. I'm not going to mess with it. HadesOmega out. Alright, so I went ahead and checked all the valves. They seem a little bit, I would say maybe they're a little bit on the loose side. It's really cold out right now too. They should be tighter. Or maybe they'll be looser. No, that's right. So the colder it is outside, the more looser it is. So since this ball is cold right now, and yeah, it should be actually be looser, because the metal shrinks when it gets loose. So I had it backwards. My bad. So yeah. Okay, so so since it's really cold right now, I normally check this like at like room temperature or something. So I believe this is fine. This is okay. I went ahead and put the next size up in there, and it was it kind of fit in. It was a little tight. So I think it's right on the money on the loose spectrum. So I'm not gonna go touch it at all. So valves adjusted. So I don't know. These covers look like they're yeah, these look like they need to be replaced. They're a little flat. This one looks rounder though. Oh, because it's the intake side, maybe it's not as hot, so it doesn't squish as much. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and replace these gaskets. Alright, so I'm done on the valve check. I just went and replaced the gasket. The old one was pretty flat, so this one's a lot more springy. It wasn't leaking before, but I'm just changing it for preventative maintenance. My bike's got 19,000 miles on it. I'll show you how to do the other one. This is the exhaust side, and the part numbers are the same on these. I noticed right here. Part number is 11177-44 Bravo 01. 1117-44 Bravo 01. So they're the same. It's the same gasket. It's probably the same cover. You can probably interchange them too. So let's go and do that. Okay, caps back on. I'm going to show you how to do this other one here. So you can use a pick if you can. It's kind of hard to get out unless you got like some really long fingernails. They'll be stuck in there. See how flat this one is? So to get the gasket out, I used a screwdriver, like a really small screwdriver, and you just stick it in there. See, it's kind of shrunken a little. There's a little big gap. And just pry it out. It comes out pretty easy. Ooh, this one's stuck in there pretty good, actually. It's more than the exhaust. That should go right out. And if it's dirty, go ahead and clean it. It looks pretty clean to me, so I'm not going to bother to clean it anymore. Take your gasket and just put it in there. There it is. I got the new one out. Nice and still roundish. It's kind of seated in there a little bit. Should stick. Actually, the good thing is there's still some oil on it, so it helps it stick in there. So then just put it back on. Make sure the surfaces are clean. They look pretty clean. I may have disturbed it a little bit. I'm just gonna wipe around it with my finger. Yeah, see, there's some dirt that kind of got on it. It's pretty clean. If there's any kind of residue, something in there that might not make it flat, then I would go ahead and scrape it off. But it's fine. So let's go ahead and put this guy back on here like this. Careful not to get any more dirt on there because my head is still kind of dirty. I'm going to put the camera down real quick. Okay. On there, you can go tighten it by hand. Plan to introduce any new dirt in there. Yeah, so it's a good idea to clean your engine before. I actually did clean the engine before this and it's still dirty. Thus is the life of a dual sport, right? So there you go. For some reason, like when you tighten one side, the other side wants to pop up. Okay. I'm sure there's a torque spec for this. I can go look it up, but I'm not going to torque it. And it doesn't say. I'm sure you'll have to look in the specs in the manual. But what I'm going to do is take my 10 here and just snug it. I just want to snug it. Just do it one side at a time. Very lightly. Remember, it's aluminum, it strips very easily. And since it's a new gasket, it's going to squish a lot, so it may take a while to tighten it. There, okay, so it kind of bottomed out. Okay. Bottomed out. Bottomed out, okay. And I'm probably going to give it like 1/8 of a turn. Okay. 1/8 of a turn. And that's it. Same thing with the other side. I didn't tighten this one yet. Let's tighten each side a little bit at a time until it bottoms out. Still going. There, that one bottomed out. This one bottomed out. Go over it one more time. Okay, and then I'm going to go snug it, like 1/8 of a turn. Okay. There you go. That's it. Very light. And then you go ahead and put the caps back on. Like I said, I'm not going to torque this either. But it's just a cover. It's not important, but it is important if it starts leaking. So put this cover back on. Put the other cover back on. And I am done with my valve adjustment. I'm ready to do the compression test. I went ahead and checked the head bolts, at least the ones that were accessible. So the head bolts that they're telling you are, there's 2 right here that are 12mm. And there's 2 more that's inside the head cover
the valve cover. I didn't want to take the valve cover off, so I just went and checked these. These are supposed to be about 28 foot-pounds, and they didn't budge at all. And then there's one right here. There's a bolt here, and there's a bolt hiding under here where my finger is. There you go. And those are supposed to be 18 foot-pounds, but I don't know how the hell you're supposed to check that. And I might check it again when I take the carb off. I don't know how you're supposed to do this one. I guess you can do it if you took the exhaust off, but I just checked it with the wrench, and I just kind of snugged it a little bit. It's 18 foot-pounds. It's not a lot, and that might be where this leak is coming from. Is this one? I found this one was loose, so hopefully it didn't damage anything. It's the shop that I put it in didn't do a very good job tightening it. Alright, so yeah. So just go ahead and snug these real quick. We should be done with the valve adjustment. Okay. Snug it a little bit. Should be good. Get the other one. This on here. Snug it a little bit.